Heather Nauert, State Department spokeswoman. Heather, it's great to have you on the program. One of the things I found when I was a spokesperson in the Bush administration was that in some ways I was more recognized and popular in places like South Korea or Israel because people are actually watching and they want to know what the United States is saying. What would you say to the South Koreans and the North Koreans today if they had a chance to listen about what this possibly means from the president, the tweet last night, but also the United States' reaction to North and South Korea having a new opening, a reopening of their hotline?
Yeah, so I think the first thing we would say is we are fine with them having that conversation, certainly over the phone. They're neighbors. Neighbors have a right to have those types of conversations. They have a lot of areas of mutual concern, from people who had once lived in the North to people who are in the South right now, and to obviously the Olympics. So overall, in terms of those conversations, we are okay with that. The United States has a very strong alliance relationship with South Korea. That hasn't changed. Secretary Tillerson, who I work for here at the State Department, had a phone call just hours ago with Foreign Minister Kang. We are on the same page with South Korea, and we are having close conversations with them about all of this as this unfolds. You know, we all share the same objectives, and that is the denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. It's something the United States, South Korea, Japan, China, and Russia, for that matter, all agree with, and we're working ahead with our maximum pressure campaign to put pressure on North Korea to choke off that money supply that goes to fund its illegal weapons and missile programs.
One of the things that the South Koreans have said is that they want the North Koreans to consider being a participant in the Olympics, hopefully, so that they are not a irritant at the Olympics. So the United States, is the United States weighing in on that?
Well, look, we are looking forward to attending the Olympics, as we have many years before. So that certainly hasn't changed, and that would be up for South Korea and I believe also the International Olympic Committee to decide.
Let me ask you about Iran, if you don't mind. I mean, you've got the whole world that we have to talk about, but we only have a few minutes. President Trump this morning tweeting, such respect for the people of Iran as they try to take back their corrupt government. You will see great support from the United States at the appropriate time. Do you know what that actually might entail? I know you might not have details, but is providing possibly ways for them to continue to communicate through technology one of the ways we can help?
Well, look, all of this we are monitoring very, very carefully and very closely. One of the things that we know as a government, and Dana, you know better than anyone, when the United States government speaks out on behalf of people who are going through a very difficult time, that means a lot to those people. As Americans, we may take that for granted, but we have seen the success in Venezuela, where we have heard people, when there's been a clampdown on the media, saying thank you for speaking out on our behalf. We stand with the people of Iran. We stand with the Iranian people. They have a rich and wonderful history. We don't take issue with the people of Iran. With the regime, we have concerns with that. But so do the people, and that's why we're seeing them protest. They're protesting the economy, they're protesting corruption, and they're frankly tired of Iranian officials taking the money that should be spent on their own country, funding a foreign terrorist organization, Hezbollah. And we know the horrible things that Hezbollah has done to our U.S. service members overseas for decades and decades. They're also funding problems in Syria and in Yemen as well as many other places.
Yesterday,
so Iranian people, we stand with you.
Yesterday, Ambassador Nikki Haley suggested that there would be a call for a UN meeting, a Security Council meeting about Iran. When do you think that will happen, and what do you want to get out of it?
Yeah, so I don't want to get ahead of Ambassador Haley on that because no meeting date or time has yet been announced. But I think as we look to many of our allies and our partners around the world, they share our concerns. And that is enabling these protesters in Iran to protest peacefully. And that means a lot to those people to hear that we support their right to free speech. And they're doing it so bravely because they could be imprisoned as a result. We're watching that very carefully because if there are human rights abuses on the part of government officials, that is an enormous concern to us, and that is why we are watching that very carefully when we are urging restraint on the part of the Iranian regime.
Let me just follow up with you on that, because already I think it's up to 20 people who have lost their lives, protesters. And then, Sohrab Ahmari, he's of Commentary Magazine. He'll be here later in the show. He was telling me about the people who are arrested, up to over maybe even 400 now, that they will at the very least experience torture. What can the United States do besides urging Iran not to do such a thing, that we're watching them from a humanitarian standpoint? Like, is there anything else we can do to help prevent that?
Well, Dana, as you well know, our information from the ground in Iran is somewhat limited.
Yep.
We have to work with other countries. We have to work with partner organizations, NGOs, for example, aid groups, intelligence, and all of that to try to get information. It's tough to get information out of there, but we're watching it closely, and we certainly hope that Iran will use restraint.
And it's hard to get covert information out of there.
It's hard to get a lot of information out of there.
All right, Heather Nauert, you're always welcome here on the Daily Briefing. Thanks
Dana,
for being here.
Great to see you.